This video is lesson 2 of 2, looking at argumentative writing aimed at students in Scotland working at roughly level 3. Follows on from the first video, which presented an example of balanced writing. So how do we write a balanced argument? First, we need something to write about. In the example in the previous video, the subject was whether or not homework should be banned. Once you've chosen your topic, you need to come up with arguments both for and against. Now, depending on when you are watching this video or why you are watching this video, you may have been given a topic, or you may be trying to choose a topic. Here are some possible ideas that you could write an argument about. In order to write a balanced essay or any kind of argumentative essay, we need to plan. Can you remember what the first argument in the example was? The first argument was that many people think homework is an important part of school life and that it helps pupils continue their learning at home. It is in favour of homework. It is a for argument. So we need for and against. We need to note down different sides of the argument. And on the right hand side here you can see a simple table with the statement at the top, should homework be banned, and two columns for and against. And here in bullet points we have the arguments both for and against. So your task here is to produce a table of for and against, a few points in each column. For the purposes of this activity in this video, I would like you to use the topic, we are doing enough to stop climate change. You may be viewing this video for other purposes, but for the majority of you, initially I want you to use this topic, we are doing enough to stop climate change. And I would like you to write down at least two ideas in each column. So two things that say, yes, we are doing enough to stop climate change, and two things that say, no, we are not doing enough to stop climate change. And if you know any particular facts or sources of information at this point, feel free to note them down as well. They can be useful when you're making your argument later. You can pause the video now. Now that you've completed your list of for and against points, we are almost ready to write our balanced argument. Balanced arguments require you to use formal and technical language, so before you get started, here are a few useful words and phrases that may help. These can be used to link your ideas together to join your argument in an understandable and easy to follow way. So have a look over this slide at some of the phrases that you may want to try and use in your writing. To begin writing our argument, we need an opening paragraph, which is called the introduction. Here we introduce the argument in a clear, concise and interesting way. Have a look at the example again. Anyone who's ever been to school knows what it's like to be sent home with piles of homework. For years, teachers have been setting extra maths, spellings and other assignments to be completed outside of regular lesson time. But with the increasing pressures of modern day life, there is a growing call for homework to be banned. Here are some of the arguments for and against. You can see here the colour coding in black and bold at the start there, third person statement, anyone. It's not that I have been to school, it's not that you have been to school, but anyone. It includes all possible readers. Towards the end of the passage, the paragraph, we have an orange statement which introduces the main argument. There is growing call for homework to be banned. Remember, that was the question, should homework be banned? So we've introduced the idea of the argument here. And then in the kind of yellowy colour, it's explaining what we'll be doing in the balanced argument. And what we've said is, here are some of the arguments for and against. At this level, it's nice and simple. You just say that you're presenting both for and against on this argument. So your task here is this. Write an introductory paragraph on the topic of climate change. Are we doing enough to prevent climate change? I'd like you to stick to the third person, so avoiding I statements. You can say we, they, them. I want you to briefly introduce your topic, so at some point in your paragraph tell us what the topic actually is. And I want you to comment on the main points of the argument. Now here again, you can keep it nice and simple and just say that you will be presenting both for and against. So using that example on the left hand side, I'd like you to write your introductory paragraph. You may pause the video now. Now that we have an introduction to the argument, it's time to start writing what we call the main body. These are the paragraphs in the middle of the piece of writing which present the information that we have located. Using that plan that you made of for and against statements, I want you to begin with a for argument. So writing a single paragraph in the third person using the formal language which explains that first point that you made. Paragraph here, you're looking for a few sentences explaining the issue and trying to present some evidence to back it up. Your next paragraph should be an opposing view from the against column. So the first one there, you had the introduction, then you do a for argument, then you do an against argument. And I want you to then alternate. So for and against, for and against. So switching backwards and forwards between them until you have covered all of the points from your plan. You can pause the video now. Once you've done that, you've pretty much finished writing your balanced essay, but it's time for our final paragraph. The final paragraph is slightly different. It's known as the conclusion, and it's designed to conclude the argument and present your own opinion. Here, you are allowed to switch into the first person. Here is the example paragraph again. In conclusion, there are many strong arguments for and against banning homework from schools. If it helps a child's education, then surely homework is a good thing. Then again, time away from studying to play is also incredibly important to a child's well-being. On balance, I don't believe homework should be banned because it's really an important part of learning. However, I also believe there should still be time in the day for fun. Therefore, perhaps schools should come up with a compromise. Keep homework, but don't set so much. So what we can see here is a statement at the start of the paragraph in conclusion. Makes it nice and clear to the reader that we are coming to the end. At this level, saying in conclusion is fine, but as you progress through English, you will find different, more interesting ways of saying this. You're allowed to use your own opinion here, so I've presented that in orange. I don't believe homework should be banned. That's my opinion, or the opinion of this writer, that homework should not be banned. Using this first person language, I don't believe, I also believe. And here they've presented a bit of a compromise, so they've done a balanced conclusion as well as giving their opinion. Your task here then is this. Write your final and concluding paragraph on the topic of climate change. Switch into the first person, briefly restate the main points that you have already made, and offer your opinion on the topic overall. You may pause the video now. If you're doing this lesson in response to an assignment, please make sure you upload your completed work to the appropriate team's assignment.